I do think Hellen Keller is a fraud. I used to watch all Chicago sports and keep up with all Chicago sports like in my 20s, and then I started doing comedy, and then like I was like, I have no more room in my brain for this stuff. Like I am learning a whole new industry, so that goes to the wayside.
Oh my.
Yeah.
That's a lot of hours.
So then I also like it was like a lot of stand-up festivals in May.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, I don't know if I told you this. So I go home to Chicago a lot because my mom is in a scooter. She has transverse myelitis. It's like kind of like MS, but not. But like she used to have a walker, and then in 2020 she broke her leg, and we had to like I was like living at home because I lost my job in New York and all that stuff, and we had to like redo the whole house to be like ADA, and it's like still not really ADA. So like I try to go back there every 2 months minimum to help my dad, help her, give my sister a break, like all that kind of shit. So
pop over to Midway. Yeah.
That's another layer with all of that. And then in June, I had so many auditions, and then I booked 2.
Yeah.
And like they were within the same week. And then I was on a Vail for a 3rd. So like I got back from Limestone, started the DraftKings podcast because that contract came through. I was like negotiating that as I was traveling and doing the festivals and like having these like meetings with all these like higher ups at the production company. And then it finally went greenlit. Then we started doing that, and then I got all those auditions. It was crazy. And I was like not telling them, like they don't know that I have a full-time job, and my full-time job doesn't really know I'm doing this podcast. Like my boss knows, but she's like, just do it. Just get the work done whenever you need to.
The fact that you were trying to do all that in 2 weeks. I mean, even let me put it this way. Trying to do all that in 4 weeks, insane.
Bad.
Trying to do that in 2 weeks.
Really bad.
Inhuman. I don't know.
So I'd like get all like my social like things out and like see everybody and do my thing, and then I would disappear for like 2 weeks, and then it was like really bad.
I remember socially it was a lot like going into a deli and you just take a number and you're like, okay, I'm number 48. You'd come out and you'd be like, we're doing 1 through 30 today. I'm like, no, that's fair. That's on me. I honestly didn't want anything today, so I'll come back tomorrow if that's fine.
Yeah. Especially in like I like changed my birth control. I did like 2 of my festivals last year during meds changes, and I was like, I don't know.
You were just like, hey, I'm playing on hard mode. Let me see what expert mode is like.
Yeah. And I didn't like mean to. It just like happened. Like someone asked me how Portland Festival was last year. I was like, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I was there.
I was luteal, and I'm not sure.
I was like, I was at Portland. I think Portland was cool, if I remember correctly. But then, so I changed meds, got new birth control, started doing acupuncture, got a bunch of like Chinese supplements that are like I can't legally ship to California. So I have to ship them to my parents' house.
Okay, hold on. I have comments on that. Before we do that, I'm going to introduce our tea real fast. So the tea that we're drinking today is Cococabana Cooler. It's by Bird & Blend. It is an herbal, so for those steeping at home, you could steep this at boiling.
Ding, 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 ding. Remember that Nokia ringtone?
Kind of, yeah.
Bow, bow. Ding, 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 ding. It just takes you back.
For those listening, I'm dancing beautifully.
It's gorgeous.
And I wish you would know. But this is steeps at 212. I did it for 7 minutes because I love a good herbal. Have you tried yours yet?
No.
I love that. That my favorite part is you reaching. That's me when I'm sitting here like, and I'm eating snacks. I'm like, can you pass that? This is Bird & Blend's Cococabana Cooler.
Coca.
I think that's great.
Cococabana. Right?
It's the Cococabana.
That was really good.
Isn't that good?
Yeah. I'm gonna need this to go.
Yep. Pack her up. For those watching, there's no one over there. I'm yelling to no one. Can you get that, Judith? Can you get that done?
Thanks, Judith.
Yeah. This is true. I swear to you, this is true. I get awkward around doctors. This is just a little side little fun journey for you. And when I first went to the dermatologist, there was a woman at the front named Judy, and I was like very nervous. I flirt to make myself feel more comfortable. So the doctor came in and she goes, she's like looking at my face and she goes, seeing a lot of freckles. And I go, the sun loves me. Like an idiot. And she goes, no, that's sun damage. Like that can become cancer. And I go, cancer? And right before I walked in, I told Judy, I was like, hey, if I need you, I'll call your name. And at this point, she goes, cancer. I go, Judy? And she's like, are you okay? I was like, Judy said that this would be fine. And she's like, Judy works in the front? And I was like, yeah. Is there another Judy? She's like, I'm not sure.
She's like, my Judy?
Yeah. She goes, I don't know what's happening. She's like, you don't have cancer. I was like, well, it sure sounds like that's what you said.
That's exactly what she said.
Yeah.
She basically told you were going to die.
Yeah.
So.
I was living in Chicago at the time, and I'll tell you, I'll be clear. I didn't go to that person ever again.
No, absolutely not.
No, I couldn't.
No.
Couldn't show my face in there.
No, I had the hottest dermatologist in New York after I got ankle surgery, and
I'm sorry.
Okay,
yeah.
I had an allergic reaction to the lidocaine.
Oh.
And my foot and my calf blew up, and there was hives all over it. It was purple and it was itchy, and I had to go to the hottest man I've ever seen.
Look at my foot.
Like, hey. I was like, it's not normally like this. It really looks like that one normally.
Yeah. You're like, feet are crazy. Yeah. What's your name?
Yeah. I was like, are you like single? And he's like, that's a massive alert. That's like one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Oh my God.
It was like so bad.
Anyways, I have had multiple attractive doctors, and it's just the worst. Like here's a hot take. I want every doctor I ever have to be ugly as sin.
Me too, because it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You can't tell a hot person like that your bowel movements are off.
I saw a GI when I lived in Chicago who said to me, how are your bowel movements? And I have a problem where I try and like kill the discomfort from that. I go, take me to dinner first. and I kid you not, she looked at me and
crazy.
waited
to like
in the silence. She lived in the silence until I calmed myself down. And then she goes, so the bowel movements? And I go, I guess pretty normal.
My acupuncturist always asks me about my bowel movements, but instead of saying that, she goes, how's your poo-poo? And I just love it. Like, she's a Chinese woman. English is her second language. And I love, like, with the biggest grin on her face, how's your poo-poo?
I was hoping you were going to tell me your acupuncturist is like a 9-year-old girl. She's like,
she's just like sticking.
Yeah, and then she goes, how's your poo-poo? You know, and you're just like, well, I don't know, miss. It's good. You know, how's class? And she's like, well, me and Timmy broke up. How long was your relationship? 2 days. Yeah,
I got a 6 out of 10 on my vocab test.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it kills me every time. And she goes, sticky, bad.
Sticky? No.
I was like, I don't know if I would use that word.
I once had an acupuncturist. I've been to one like 3 or 4 times, and she was a little like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And I went in, and she's like, I literally walk in. This is like the second time she's seen me before. She goes, oh, okay, got it. I hadn't said anything. I hadn't said a word. She goes, got it. I said, do you want to know where I'm hurting? She goes, I've got it. And I was like, what is going on? I lay on the thing. I lay on the bed. She's putting pins all over me, like a pin cushion, just all over the place. And by the time I'm done, I kid you not, she looks at me, she goes, better, but we may need to do a follow-up with you here in a week. I was like, do you want to ask how it went? She goes, I know. It's like, all right. It's like Miss Cleo. I don't know.
Holy shit.
It's tough.
Yeah.
I'm struggling out here.
Yeah, it's tough.
Like, the older I get, the more doctors I need to see.
I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to talk about it.
Don't. It is funny. You reminded me a little bit when you were talking about your family stuff. My mother fell and fractured her pelvis in 4 places about a month ago. And so I had to, it was end of May. Yeah, about a month ago. I had to go and see her. And there's nothing quite like someone who is firmly steeped in the belief that with no medical degree, that she knows more than the doctors do. And I don't know if your mother does this kind of stuff, but my mother was literally like, we're in the hospital. And the doctor's like, so what we're going to ask you to do, she goes, I'm going to stop you there. I'm not going to do that. And I was like, mom, like he is a doctor. And I said, will you listen to the nurses? And she goes, yeah, they're all in it together. And I was like, this is not a conspiracy.
I mean, once you get to a certain age, everything is.
She's 74.
Like, you're just like, everything is a conspiracy. Everything goes to the top. And it's, the more doctors I see, the more I'm like, it's a conspiracy.
Yeah. It's all bullshit.
They're all
They don't know.
They have no idea. If I had the brain to go to med school and I went to med school and then I did a residency and then I finally got a fucking job.
Yeah.
And you came in with something that I didn't just study for the last 12 years, I would be so mad at myself.
Yeah, they're like, what is this? Like, who the fuck cares? What else do you have?
Exactly. They're like, well, it's not a cold. So
that's the one thing can you imagine a doctor? You come in, you go, I'm having trouble. Like, I think my shoulder dislocated. They go, I know colds.
I'm a cold specialist.
Is it that?
I don't think it's sinuses.
Yeah. Let's run a COVID test. I don't know how to. I use the one from CVS like you do.
Yeah, I can collect your poo.
Yeah.
And just like, I don't know, we can dig around in there. See if there's any pellets of sorts. I just don't the ROI of being a doctor and what you get out of it is so small to me. Like,
oh my God, yeah.
You should know everything for that much schooling. What are you doing?
You have to disimpact bowels.
It pisses me off so much.
I can't.
And then they're like, they're like, I don't really get it. So go to that guy. He might get it.
That guy specializes in whatever this could be.
Yeah. And then he's like, actually, I don't think it's that. Because I don't know. I only know about this one specific organ.
So it's like a GI.
And
He goes,
like,
you know what?
What the hell are you doing in there?
I'm here. You know,
This
I think it's up over
schooling,
here.
we need to improve doctor schooling.
Do you know my insurance contacted me the other day?
Conspiracy.
And goes, we should not talk all about medical stuff, but I will. This is the last thing I'll say. My insurance contacted me the other day, and they go, we think you have another insurance, so we're not covering this visit. And I go, what?
You think you're
What are two of you in the
you're side pocketing a second insurance?
Two of you by the water cooler? Go, you know what I'm thinking? I don't know this guy. And we have about 500,000 people. I think Josh has second insurance. I'm like,
they're and being so they're like, they're so salty that they're your second too.
I was like, I don't have a first.
See, my hot take with that, my conspiracy theory is the reason that we can't get like decent, affordable, like individualized healthcare is because it's because they get so much more benefits when it's a corporate group plan.
For
so like
sure.
that's why they want us to stay in our jobs. That's why they want us that we can't be independent workers, we can't be contractors, we can't be gig workers. Because it's so expensive. If they started doing that, no one would work for the corporations because, say it with me, it sucks.
See, that felt really good. That felt really, really good.
Yeah.
No one ever lets me do a thing like that in my normal day to day. No one ever goes, let's say this phrase on 3.
Yeah.
You know, I wish
I'm really good at that. And also, just so you know, for future hangs, if you say, let's chant fill in the blank, I will always start a chant.
It's weird. The first time I met you, I was going to do it. I just felt it. I go, she would deliver on this thing. Yeah. I think there are some people that are just like, they're just going to like in for whatever the thing is. Like, yeah. I remember I had a buddy who, I'm trying to remember what fucking song. Oh, it was Paradise by the Dashboard Light by Meatloaf. Started playing in a restaurant and he starts singing along. And he does this. She's like, points at me, goes, you gonna?
Yeah.
And I fucking did.
Yeah.
It sounds like, we're fucking here. People in the restaurant looked, but you know what? Let me tell you something. Probably was the best thing that happened to them that day. You know?
Yeah, last week someone slid into second and I was like, that's why you wear those pants. And then I went, pants. And then I got the whole
Did people get in?
Going. Yeah.
Oh, see, that's, you're on a good team.
Yeah, exactly.
By the way, I want to be really 100% honest with you. When you said slid in a second, I thought you were like using like weird sexual terminology. Like someone's feeling me up last week and I started cheering pants.
I wish I could fucking brag about that.
I started cheering. Someone grabbed my boobs. I go, pants.
Pants. I'm going to do it. If I ever am touched by a man again, I will do that.
But by a man again. I don't think the story is true. I read a story recently on Reddit, so take this with a grain of salt. That someone saw a shirt they liked in a store and went to go like look to see what the tag was on the mannequin, and it turns out it was a person. And he was like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I don't know." And I was just like, "Would anyone ever do that?"
I mean, how still was he standing?
I mean, I can't stand.
We're missing hard facts.
Listen. I can go back, find the post, and start commenting.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll do it for my throwaway.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's Novotny 123. That's my throwaway. And no reason. I want to be clear. I made that before I met you.
Correct. It's a common name.
Yeah.
It is.
No. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
It's okay. You know how the Smith Novotny in Poland is the Smith of America.
Wait, Novotny's Polish? Lanzette's Polish.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Oh my God, are we best friends?
We might be.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, and now the Chicago-Poland connection. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm from New York, but I lived in Chicago, so I stole the connection and I made it my own.
I mean, like, there's a lot of overlap there.
New York, Chicago, or Chicago, Poland?
All of it.
Or us?
Us.
Yeah. I was gonna say listen. We both went to school in Missouri.
Yeah.
So mark it.
Check it.
Yeah, check it. I think when I found out you went to school in Missouri, I think I asked you if you'd ever been to Trop's Liquors, and you said no.
No, if you asked me that, I would have 100% said yes. Silver Bullet was my favorite.
So what you do is you get Silver Bullet, and it doesn't matter what the other thing is.
Correct. Exactly.
Silver Bullet, and who cares?
The fact that it's a drive-through liquor store.
Amazing.
It could only happen in Missouri.
I believe, and I may be wrong, and please disabuse me of my ignorance if I'm wrong. I believe I used to get Silver Bullet and Tiger Paw. Was that a flavor?
I think so.
Because I think that's what I got.
Oh my God.
I used to love it. My friend went to Mizzou.
Freaking out.
I got to tell you, and I don't want you to lose love for me, and I think you will when I say this next thing. So I'm not like. I follow the NBA religiously, but otherwise I'm not super observant about sports. And I know that may disappoint you, and I do apologize.
No, it's okay.
I still want to be your best friend. But I would go to Mizzou for homecoming, I mean, it was cool, but not for the football. Because my buddy was like, hey, we could go to Trop's. I was like, interested.
The spectacle of Mizzou's homecoming
was phenomenal.
Is like, I feel like everyone should experience it.
Like, it was like a tailgate where like everything you passed was like a new experience.
It feels like a movie.
It was great.
Like, it's what you imagine a homecoming would be in a movie, and that was what Mizzou did.
Yeah, I went to a school where you would find out it was homecoming because one person might be like handing out pieces of paper that said, we did it, like in the parking lot.
Yeah.
That's kind of it.
I mean, it was built on the backs of freshman sorority and fraternity members who would it was called pomping. Have you heard of this?
I circumstance. You pomp.
We pomped.
Okay,
so the floats in the homecoming parade were made of all this tissue paper. And you would have to wrap the tissue paper around a marker to get it to look like a tube, and then dip it in glue and then stick it on the float.
No.
And that would take hundreds of people, hundreds of hours for this fucking parade float. And it was usually freshmen getting straight up hazed. And that is Mizzou homecoming. That is the pride of University of Missouri. But there was a lot of other cool things too, but it was
that's
crazy.
The important one. I will tell you this because I feel comfortable enough with you to tell you this.
Hit me.
So one of the years I went to Mizzou homecoming, I think 2 or 3 years. There was a place, I can't remember the name of it. It was like Tin Roof something. It was like some restaurant over there. I hope they closed. And I got very bad food poisoning. And so the next day, I got it the next day. And I'm like, we were there at homecoming. And I turned to my buddy, I go, I do not feel great. And he was like, really? Because I also don't feel great. Run to the bathroom, come back. It got to a point where I would get about 12 to 17 minutes at a clip of enjoying the the tailgate, and then was back in the bathroom. And my buddy was like, how was it? And I was like, I got at least 10,000 steps in that day. I was just back and forth just the whole way. And someone goes, how was homecoming? I go, I'm not sure. I heard it was great. You know,
me and my friend went to Nashville for a little trip. It was just the two of us, been in our 20s, and we got Hattie B's, which is one of the most famous hot fried chicken places. And then we spent the rest of the night taking turns throwing up in the bathroom.
It's so rough.
And we're like, my turn.
Oh yeah. Here's the problem. The problem with eating a hot chicken sandwich and then having it come back, kind of fight you. There's no winning if it goes up or down. Both sides are horrible.
So bad.
Oh yeah. That's why I kind of want to be on Hot Ones one day. Like I want to do
Just
the
to
Hot Ones
feel
challenge,
it?
but I also don't want to feel the aftermath of Hot Ones.
No.
But don't you
No.
want to know if you could do it?
I know I couldn't.
I think you could.
I know I couldn't.
Here's the thing. I have enough faith in you when you don't have enough faith
I
in
think I
yourself.
would be a great contender because I would be so miserable. It would make for great TV, and I would say the most insane things. However, I used to be so good at eating spicy foods, and
Sure.
it's like I don't know if it's like getting older, but like or getting whiter. I'm not sure. I don't know which one it is.
Both happens, yeah.
Yeah. Did you know you get whiter as you get older too?
Hey, can you see me? When the lights are on me, I reflect them like Casper.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I like spicy foods in so much as when I eat it, I go, cool, and then I'm done.
Like one taki.
Yeah. Oh, no. Well, I don't eat that spicy. No, I'm just kidding. No, I do like hot foods. I think there's also a weird thing where like someone goes, like, can you do spice? Where like you don't want to say no because then it's like a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
So I always do that. I'm like, what are we even like? I don't answer. I go, what are we even like saying? You know, like what are you?
Yeah.
Because you're gonna ask me.
I also
you know?
also like there is different rating scales of spice. There's American spice. There's Indian spice. Like it depends on what kind of food you're eating too. Like a medium Indian curry. Goodbye. Like I'm toast. But like a medium hot wing. I could take that down.
I don't understand. Yeah, it's so different. I can't handle. I do like some Indian spice. I can't do Thai spice. And my cousin went to Thailand and came back, and she came back with a little too much false bravado, and was like, we went to a Thai place. She goes, yeah, I'll have Thai spicy, and the person goes, I don't know that you will, and she's like, no, that's what I want, and the person's like, you sure? And then they sent another server over. And they're like, sorry,
No,
just
I
be clear. So
didn't.
you ordered.
They brought in a second doctor.
Yeah.
Second
They go, sorry, so
opinion.
I only do this part of the body.
Second opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, well, I only do this part. They're like, okay, well, I do up here. They go, you're positive. She goes, totally positive. I think she ate 2 bites, tops.
100%.
That was the game. Whole
Yeah.
thing. Out. Done.
Game over.
Here's the thing. I look really like bad enough when I eat, generally speaking. It's not an attractive thing. No girl's ever seen me eat and goes, gotta have them. You know, no one does that. So I can't imagine just me sweating profusely out of like my eyes and my forehead, the front of my knees. And someone's like, oh, you know what? He wasn't attractive eating that sandwich, but now?
No, I'm in.
Come to mommy, you know? I don't think anyone does that. The other thing I will say is that there are certain areas where I can't flirt, and eating a sandwich.
Why do you think it's increased in a doctor's office and decreased?
Eating a sandwich?
Yeah. I think there's a
I
psychological
flirt
analysis.
to fix my own discomfort in the doctor's office.
Okay.
I also want to like believe that this authority figure and I are on the same level.
I love seeking validation from authority figures.
Do you have a
I love
therapist?
it.
Do you do it?
I when I make my therapist laugh, oh my God, it's the best thing ever. I was going off on about this first baseman last week that literally gaslit me in play. And she was cracking up because I was so passionate about it. So this is what happened.
Yeah, I want to know the story.
So the first time I was up to bat, I hit like, I don't know, maybe it would have been a single. His foot was off the bag. And the ump called me out. And I was pissed. The first bad call, I'll always let go. I'm like,
Okay.
Come on. But also like in the moment, I was like, that guy lied. Like he could have been like, my foot wasn't on the bag. Because it wasn't.
So he was just leaning into a bad call.
So he leaned into the bad call. Then the second time I was up, he claimed he tagged me. He didn't touch me at all. I watched my foot go on the bag, and then I saw his hand go, like his glove go like this. And also, there was 2 fielders, or 2 base runners, a runner on second and third. And they were both chugging for home. Because why? They didn't see a tag. Like they were continuing gameplay because there was not an out.
But the ump called the out?
And he goes, "You tagged her, right?" Yeah. So then he doubles down on his baloney.
They're in a relationship. They're fucking.
So I was like, "Dude, come on!" And I was like, 2 times? I was like, you're gonna lie 2 times? So like now I have now I'm like, this first baseman is a trash man. But then here's what really set me over the edge.
I'm not letting him stop.
Okay, here's what really set me over. After the second one, he was up first. I'm playing Rover in like left center, essentially. He pops like a line drive, essentially, right to me. I play him perfectly. Perfect catch. It snaps. You hear the of the mitt. Everyone's like, yeah. He still runs to first base. And he's standing on first base. And someone had to be like, hey, man, she caught it. You're out. And then I looked up and everyone was like, great. And I looked up and I go, are you fucking kidding me? And like he had to be shown off the field. Like he couldn't even comprehend that I caught a ball. And I was like, this man needs, I was like, believe women. I was so mad. I was like, I cannot even believe I'm witnessing this.
And this guy, and I correct me if I'm wrong, this guy was Harvey Weinstein. That's
yes, it was Harvey Weinstein.
You know what, Harvey? Time's up.
He let him out to play one little game of softball.
And then that's where we end up. I gotta tell you, I always knew that something was wrong with him. And there he went.
Something
playing
like
softball.
Yeah.
I will hold grudges. I do. I don't know if you're a grudge holder. I'll hold grudges for stupid things. Like literally the other day, someone did the thing. Okay, this is gonna make me sound bad, but hear me out. If someone is behind me at the grocery store and only has one item, I will let them ahead because I think it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Unless this person, I'm at the store, they only had a couple items. They walk up and go, hey, I'm just gonna go ahead of you.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And I look, I go,
the audacity.
I go, like hell you are.
Did you say that?
Yeah. And he goes, what do you mean? I was like, you gotta ask. You see, this is my spot. Yeah, exactly. Listen here, this is my spot.
Oh, no.
You think you're gonna cut me, do you, wise guy?
Yeah. Not in the Vaughn's parking lot.
I tell this guy, I go, hey, you just ruined your chances. Okay. You are going to go behind me. And he goes, you got so much stuff. And I go, you know what I have that you don't also? Decorum. Get behind.
And you shoved him into the freezer section, locked him up. He's still there.
I fucking shivved him with a dirty carrot. And I was just like, get out. Yeah. But he was so angry. And he was.
That is a wild thing to just assume.
How do you do that? How do you just do that?
I can't.
I just manners.
It's gone. It's all gone.
It is royally offensive to me. And I gotta tell you something. If he came up to me and said, would you mind if I go ahead of you? I said, would I mind? I'm gonna put your things out for you. You know what I'm gonna do? Yeah. I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna relieve the cashier. I'll relieve her. I'll ring you up. Yeah. And guess what? If there's a coupon for like a grapefruit and you have an orange, I'm gonna apply it. Cause you asked. But this fucking guy, like
I would have been boiling.
I was raging.
There's stuff that like just sets me off like nothing else
Oh
anymore.
yeah.
The fact that I caught the ball.
It's the snap.
Literally perfectly. And he's just standing on first base as if it was so impossible that a woman playing that position could have caught his ball.
It's gaslighting.
I was like, oh, I could not believe it.
It's sports gaslighting.
I turned to Jono, who was behind me, and I go, Jono, this is exactly the reason I couldn't play last season, because I was getting too riled up out here.
I would have gone up. Can you argue with the ump? Can you go, watch this guy?
And then my friend goes, well, to be fair, if I got away with being a bullshitter for 2 plays beforehand, I would have thought I could get away with the third.
This guy's like, I'm in, right?
Yeah, he's like,
I know she caught it, but
but I'm good.
Yeah, I'm fine. Like
I'm like
you
safe.
and I, we know each other.
Yeah.
By the way, we should get to our first segment. Are you ready for the Newly Friend game?
Yes.
Okay. So this first segment is called the Newly Friend game. It's like the Newlywed game, but we're friends. The way this works, I'm going to ask you a question. You're going to write down your answer. Don't say it out loud. I'm going to try and write down what I think your answer is going to be, and then we're going to flip our boards and see if we got it right.
Okay.
And then we'll do the same thing for me. Okay. For your question, you have recently from your socials, been enjoying the Olympics.
Yes.
Yeah, you sure have. And
I have another idea for tomorrow. I'm so excited.
And we are eagerly awaiting it. This question is Olympic themed.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
My question, and don't tell me your answer, write it down. Okay.
Okay.
If you could do any Olympic sport in the summer, because I once did this for winter with somebody, so we're sticking with summer.
Okay.
If you could do any Olympic sport in the summer, what would it be? 1, 2, 3, flip. Oh my God! We got it. It's beach volleyball. Yeah. I literally was originally wrote high jump, and then I was like, you know what? For some reason, I was like, Novotny would crush a little beach volley.
I played volleyball. Was my. I've been watching that constantly.
Well, that's because it's so fun to watch.
The amount of coverage, the amount of court that they cover with just 2 people is insane.
Doesn't make sense.
Oh my God. Oh, my ankles could never. I mean, I played when I was younger, and I loved volleyball so much. I didn't have what it takes.
Yeah, listen,
but, man,
sometimes you got a bump. There's a little setting going on, and you know what? You might spike.
Yep, that's what they say.
That's the phrase?
Classic volleyball phrase.
That's the phrase.
It's a classic volleyball phrase. Actually, the Olympics were talking about that. That's all they were saying.
Yeah, you know, you might bump. You're gonna set every now and again. Yeah. But then you might spike. The reason, my favorite thing I like to do is I like to cite really just not accurate reasons for why I'm not playing these sports. I always want to be like, beach volleyball. Yeah, they wanted me, wasn't tall enough. Yeah, they wanted me on there. I was just 5'10", couldn't do it.
Well, that's like an actual, yeah.
Same thing with the NBA, which is crazy. Like I had it, you know.
You were right there.
Yeah, I was like.
Do you see the former NBA player who is now a beach volleyball Olympian?
No.
Yeah, it's fucking sick.
Do we have a name on this person?
I believe his name is
Michael
Chase
Jordan. No, okay.
Budinger. Chase
Budinger?
Yeah,
I know who that is.
Yeah, that guy.
He's
in the Olympics.
Is he
as a beach volleyball player?
Like, is he good?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like
he gets crazy
good?
height.
Like as good as I was.
He's almost as good as you,
but not.
No.
Okay, we're gonna do the same question for me.
Okay.
If I could pick a sport to do, what would I do right now? 1, 2, 3, flip. You said archery and hurdles. I said diving and synchronized swimming.
You're in the pool. I'm on the track.
I gotta tell you, right there, I'm wet. I do.
I kind of forgot about diving.
I think that archery is amazing. I have regularly called myself the Katniss of the Jewish community.
Yeah.
But
that's how I first heard of you.
It's interesting. Yeah.
They're like, have you seen Katniss of the Jewish community?
They do
on
call
stage?
me that.
Yeah.
Can I say something weird? I didn't want that nickname.
Of course you didn't.
I fell
you never
into
want
it.
a nickname.
No, I didn't. And then what's weird is due to a drink I really enjoyed, people started calling me Bahama Mama very often, which I thought was interesting.
Kind of like Cococabana.
Cococabana. By the way, we're done with the game. You can put your board down. That was the whole thing.
That's it? There's no more? Oh, I was so... give me one more.
Do you want one more?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do one more. You know what we're going to do? This is what we'll do. This is cute. This is fun. We're going to do a Chicago-themed one.
Yeah.
I feel like because we both were there.
Yeah.
All right. What neighborhood... I'm going to have to know this to see if I can do this question. What neighborhood did you live in when you were there?
Lakeview. Obviously, I was in my 20s.
Okay.
A white girl in her 20s. Lakeview.
I'm just a girl in my 20s doing Lakeview. All right. It's a two-parter. What is the best train line and what is the worst by color? 1, 2, 3.
Brown
flip.
line.
Best is brown line. I wrote red, not brown.
Oh my God.
And you said worst orange on way back to Midway. I
meant to say on way back from Midway. That's what I meant to say from, not to.
Oh, it's fine.
You know what I meant.
And I said worst purple.
Purple's pretty bad.
Well,
because you get stuck.
So that's what I was going to say to you. I had to be somewhere, and I was like, I did the Belmont transfer, and was so sure that I was getting the right train. I literally had to call someone. I said, "Hey, guess what? I'm now an hour and a half out.
Yeah,
I am fucking far.
You missed that exit. You're fucking toast, dude.
I was out. It was done. Talk to me.
Funny.
So I think you're saying the brown line hot take. I think most people think brown line's best line. I'm a red line boy.
I think brown line is so slow. It's so slow.
Red line is the dirtiest, but gosh, it gets you places.
It does get you places. I don't like it because it's so underground. I like this. I like watching. I like the slow and steady views of the city on the brown line.
I like it. You know, neither of us said blue. That's for sure.
No, blue.
Blue's there.
Blue is there. Green. Green could arguably be the worst.
Can I say something? I was about to write green or pink, and then I flipped and went to purple.
I feel like I haven't experienced green enough to like actually argue that.
I've written it enough that I don't care for it.
Yeah.
I wrote it hard, put it away wet. Didn't like it. You know what I mean? It's where I'm at. It's what I do.
Yep.
It's where I'm going. I don't know what that meant, by the way.
I really liked it. I was following you.
Good.
I was tracking.
That's all that matters to me.
Okay.
What was I just going to ask you? So, one thing that you talk about a lot in your Comedy, that's how I pronounce it. You've talked about Catholic guilt. Okay?
Yes.
Is it different than Jewish guilt? I've always wanted to know.
You know what?
Oh, do we have different guilts?
I think they're close to the same.
Okay.
But I think the main difference from my research and my person to person focus
You wrote a
groups,
thesis, I think.
Yeah. Well, I did a whole web series called Guilty.
Yes. You believe it or not, I actually do know that because we do a little research on our guests. I'm familiar. Yeah.
So part of season 2 was like trying to bring other types of religion and guilt in season 2. And we were, you know how you always are like, we're going to do a season 3. And then like the whole project falls apart.
Well, yeah, there's actually, we were on the message boards and we were wondering where that is.
Yeah. Here's the thing. We were going to bring in Jewish guilt for next season.
Okay.
And and we never got there. But however,
Yeah.
through a lot of talks with other Jewish friends, the Jewish guilt, I think, or the difference between Jewish guilt and Catholic guilt is like, it stems from the fact that as a Catholic, you are taught that you were born with original sin, that you come out of the womb tainted. And that is why you have to get baptized. So you have to get baptized to clear away the original sin. So it's like you came out fucked up and now you have to work your way back to good graces. So, and then that filters through like the familial and the personal and all that. From what I gather, it seems like it's more interpersonal and family stuff. Like there's no like direct tie to God or religion from what I've heard in my focus groups.
In your focus groups?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, I'm trying to think like, God wasn't really brought into it for us, but like my mother was like queen of the guilt. And so like, let's say she'd be like, clean your room. And I'd be like, oh, but I don't want to. She'd be like, no, you know what's fine. No, don't clean your room. You know, that's okay. Listen, obviously I'm not just working all day in hopes of coming home to a clean home and really like not asking for so much from my children. Obviously I'm not just sitting here barely surviving day in, day out when all I ask my child to do very respectfully is clean his room. But no, why don't you just go do what you're doing and live for yourself? And while the rest of us just sit here trying to figure it all out.
See, like in my early 20s, I got a call from my parents at like 2:00 in the afternoon. First of all, already blitzed because I was in my 20s and it was a Saturday and football Saturdays.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Are you coming to Aunt Sandy's birthday party?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" And
I'd be like, who's that bitch?
I was like, "Who's Aunt Sandy?" And they're like, "We're all going to Grandma's for Sandy's birthday." They never told me this.
Yeah.
They never told me this.
I remember they did not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, "I can't." And they're like, well, it'd be really nice to see you there. And then I was like, and I'd be like, well, I'm like, oh, I'm fucking drunk. I'm not getting in a car to go to the burbs, you know, like, but also then I was like, well, I can't, like, I don't know what you want me to do. And they're like, I mean, it's up to you. Like, if you want to be there or not.
Is it?
So it was like, do you want to be a piece of shit and like rot in hell for the rest of your life because you didn't show up for your family to celebrate your wonderful aunt that's not even technically your aunt?
I love that little spin on the ball at the end there.
Could have gone longer. Had to cut myself off.
I used to tell this joke on stage a lot. I should bring it back, but I used to say like, you know, my you liked it. Mm-hmm. My parents didn't believe in spanking, but they did something so much worse. If I did something wrong, my mom would just come over and be like, so you're not grounded. You can do whatever you want. There's nothing. But I just want you to know, you hurt my feelings, you hurt your father's feelings, and you hurt your sister's feelings.
Oh my God.
And it seems pretty clear to all of us that the only person that you're really looking out for is you. So, you know, it's fine. You could do whatever you want, but I just thought you should know what you did. And then would walk out, and I'm like, spank me, ground me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, no, you know, at this point, I'm like, I want you to like bend me over.
Yeah.
Shove a cattle prod up my ass. Jesus Christ.
That's brutal.
Yeah, it was tough.
That's fucking brutal.
I
My
don't know if
parents
that's
for
Jewish
sure
guilt or
believed in
not.
physical violence. My dad, like, it was like, and I do think it is like, slightly a Catholic thing. You know, people like they love talking about the crucifixion.
He's like, I'm gonna string you up.
Yeah.
You know? You're like, Dad.
Yeah, every week I was just,
Yeah. Dad, it's nailing. There's no string.
No, I would get soap in my mouth if I talked back.
Did you ever get soap in your mouth?
Oh yeah,
I got it once, and it was liquid.
It was liquid.
Nah.
Liquid soap is on your tongue. Oh my god.
No.
Oh my god.
I remember.
I just remember like. I remember it going in, and I was like, "Yeah!"
Don't open your mouth more.
I know.
I don't remember who it was. We once had someone on this podcast who said they had to do that with lava soap.
What's lava soap?
I don't know. Apparently a very spicy soap.
Spicy?
I know.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, there's different. So there's Indian spice soap, and then there's Thai spice soap.
Right.
Different
And
levels.
then there's American spice soap.
Well, which is like the easy one.
Right.
That's the one we all like.
Yeah, I mean, it's like and when I was growing up, I was just like so afraid of going to hell. Like I was like,
were you really?
Oh my god, I went to Catholic school from kindergarten through high school, but this is a joke that I'm trying to work out.
Yeah,
I feel like part of why I haven't dated in the last couple of years is because I've like regressed regressed post pandemic.
Oh fuck yeah.
And part of that is like goes back to my fear of having sex and going to hell and all these bad things would happen to me.
Yeah.
Went from when I was in high school. And like I was like dating my first boyfriend, my first love, whatever. And I wrote a letter to God asking him if he could like let one slide. I was like, hey, buddy.
I hope you called him buddy.
I like really love this guy. And I thought like love was the greatest gift of all. And so if I sleep with the person I love the most, is that really a sin? Like, can I, even though we're not married, like that's what I want, like all that crap. And I basically was like, please let me have sex with him without sending me to hell.
Where did you put the letter?
In a journal that I accidentally left, and then my mom found and walked into my room. This is when she could walk still. That's a dark joke that will never work on stage.
No, I liked it.
And then she walked into my room and goes, I don't think you want your father finding this. And tossed it on my bed. And I go,
had you already done it?
No. I was shook.
Of course.
Shook to my core. And then, you know what's even more fucked up is that we did have sex.
Nice.
Yeah.
Crush it, baby!
And then 6 months later, he cheated on me the first day of school of college. He was supposed to come to my dorm.
Well, he's going to hell.
Yeah, he was supposed to come to my dorm to have our first sleepover because we both went to Mizzou, because we both want to do journalism, which if you know anything about journalism schools, Mizzou is one of the best ones. And so we were like, we're not going to tell each other we can't go to the best journalism school. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's try it. Obviously a terrible idea, but he cheated on me day one. He moved into the dorms, went out, was supposed to come back and slept with someone that night. And I thought it was my punishment for having sex before marriage. Like, I was still in that headspace freshman year of college, and it took like a lot of getting away from that to be like, no, that wasn't your fault at all.
No. Yeah, it's not your fault that he tripped and fell into someone else's vagina. You know what I mean?
But that's like how deep into that, like I was so deep in that Catholic headspace.
Yeah.
And then when I was like, but the right thing to do is like forgive him because that's what God would want. Bad.
It's interesting because in my experience, God loves that I hold grudges. That's just been my viewpoint.
I mean, throughout the whole Bible, that guy holds a lot of grudge. He loves a revenge moment.
Listen, a good revenge story? Come on.
I still can't get over that he was like, hey, do you want to just chop your son's head off for me really quick?
To me, that is the fucking craziest, funniest story.
And he's like, okay. And he's like, wait, I'm just kidding.
This is how I see it. This is literally how I see it. And this is not how it's written, but this is how I see it. He goes, hey, Abe. That's what I call you, Abe. Come here. Hey, here's what I'm thinking. Kill him. And Isaac goes, huh? And he goes, I'm kidding. Like, for real. And Isaac goes, no. He goes, no, that one's serious. I'm not. He's like, oh. But like, I should. He goes, no. So, but, like, this is what you can do because I've just, okay? And he's like, all right, I'm going to do this. He's like,
don't do it.
Yeah, he's like, don't do it. And then Isaac just put in the game. He's like, it's close, And God's like, oh, what are you gonna do? And right as he's about to get there, he goes, okay, no, I was fucking with you. Don't do that shit. You're crazy, dude.
You're fucking stupid. Why would
do that.
Why would you try to kill your own son?
And then he turns to no one and goes, this fucking guy. He almost did this shit. What a nut.
Can you fucking believe trying to kill your own son? Who would do something like that? Cut to 500,000 years later. It's like, actually, that was a really good idea.
Oh, yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, no, I wanted to do that.
So when are we launching Josh and Katie's Bible Hour?
I know, this is... Someone write this up.
Judith, get it down.
Put it up. This is great.
I would listen. If everyone was like, Josh, you got to learn about the Bible, I'm like, I would learn it that way. If it were like that,
I would 100% do it.
Oh, God, the bits.
I think it's hilarious.
I think Bible is the original stand-up.
I really do.
I hate to do this because I'm literally having the best time, but are you ready for the lightning round?
I'm nervous, but I still don't know what my thing will be. But yeah, we can do the lightning round.
Okay, let's jump into the lightning round. It's 5 fast questions. It does not at all have to be fast answers. It's the last 5 questions we end every episode with. And I keep them on an index card because one day I could be the next straight, white, J-named talk show host. There are so many of them.
There's a lot.
Make me Jimmy or John or other John or, I'm just like ready. I am ready to go, I think. Or, Seth? No, he's great. Let's keep him.
You can keep him.
I feel like he's good. Question 1, what is a favorite ritual of yours? So, for example, I love brewing tea in the morning.
Before I go on stage, I write out my set list every single time.
By hand?
Every single time. Even though it's this, essentially, the same, it's close to the same order because I like to do structure.
Sure.
I'll pull things. I know them, but it's like I write it down as in my bullets, and then I put it in my back pocket. That's it's if I don't write it out, there's something about putting a pen to paper.
I completely agree with that.
I love it so much. I'm like, okay, we're gonna start with Republican Dad.
Yeah. That's what I start with.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. Well, my dad's dead, but I do your dad.
My dad can be everyone's dad.
Yeah. I'm in.
Yeah.
No, that's a great answer. I love that. Question 2. What is a running bit you have with a friend or partner that makes you laugh?
Okay. So when we were in high school, my friend group, and I'm still friends with a lot of them,
Good.
Most of them.
I think they're all great.
We all broke into my mom's cooler at the lake house, at my aunt's lake house, stole 2 of her Mike's Hard Lemonades.
Not a lot.
Split it between the 6 of us. We got crazy. Chucked them into the lake when we were done. And you know what the crazy thing about lakes is? The waves everything comes back to shore. So in the morning we saw the two of them just chilling by the shore, and my mom walks down when we woke up, and she goes, "Hey guys, FYI, I noticed." And that's all she said. And so now when any of us since then, if any of us ever say FYI, it's always, "Hey, FYI, I noticed I'm going to be late." Or "Hey, FYI, I noticed you're pregnant." Or whatever.
No.
"Hey, FYI."
What an escalation.
Yeah, very, it's a range, but you can throw it in anywhere. But that phrase has to be in there.
Does your mom realize that she's iconic?
I don't think she does. But honestly, retelling these stories, I'm like, those are 2 badass moves.
I will say, I don't know what role your mom played with your group of friends, but it sounds like the person who was people were like, oh, Like she kicks ass. Like she reins us in, but like she good.
She's great. Oh my God. But yeah, that's one of my favorite things. And like, because it's one of my favorite things also because it's not with a bunch of other comics. It's just like my friend, like us being like naturally funny and goofy and taking some dumbass joke. Like every group of high school friends that have stayed together, like that is what you do. We have another one that's like, it's from our friend used to on AIM always would say like a dumb, like gross sex joke and go, now what I'm saying, NAW.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm saying, no, we just go, do you know what I'm saying?
Does it?
No, I'm saying, do you know what I'm saying? And be like, yeah, I get off around 5. No, I'm saying.
I wish that in the moment, back to the original softball game, on the second time, when he goes, oh, like you tagged her, right? You turn to the umpire and go, FYI, I noticed. Wish you had done that. Too. Okay, question 3. What is a very controversial opinion that you have?
Okay. This one, I've been telling more people about it, and it's starting to get fed into my algorithm, so I feel like it's safer to share.
Oh.
I do think Hellen Keller is a fraud. It just doesn't add up. It just doesn't add up. Okay. And my biggest argument is that she was that like she's no. I think my conspiracy theory is that it's all Annie Sullivan. All of her work, all of her books, all of her quotes is Annie Sullivan because she was the teacher, and she's the mastermind behind Hellen Keller.
So Helen does not speak nor read nor write.
There is no freaking chance. Like, if you have never seen what an apple is, you've never seen it, you've never heard it.
Yeah. How
do you describe an apple? How do you know how to conceptualize that?
Did she?
No, yeah, that's how she claimed she taught. She went on to graduate from colleges, write books, be quoted all over the place. And yet there's people that are born with full sight and sound and ability to speak that can't score high enough on an ACT to get into college. And I don't understand what it feels like there's a piece of the puzzle missing. And in my opinion, that piece is Annie Sullivan.
Okay. Tiny little story side note for you. Tiny little story side note. I was in The Miracle Worker in high school, and they were like, you're the dad. You have to have a Southern accent. And I said, okay. And looking back, all I was doing was Foghorn Leghorn. All I was doing was, well, Annie, Helen? Get over here.
I say.
Yeah. And I'm looking back and I go, did anyone want to flag that one? Nobody wanted to flag it, huh?
No, we weren't in the time span to flag.
I was just like no one wanted to throw a flag on that play. Go, hey, may want to revise on that accent you're doing there. Kind of a little Looney Tunes.
One of the plays that we did in grade school was Wagon Wheels West.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, because it's one of the most it's a killer musical written specifically for grade schoolers. And there's a song called By the Something of the Hanging Tree, and there's literally footage of like all these like kids in like white robes because it's supposed to be like ghosts. It doesn't look like ghosts.
Doesn't sound like ghosts.
It's not ghosts. You're like, oh, this is like a little mini KKK situation going on.
And there's supposed to be a star in the background, but it's just like a little like cross on fire.
Everyone's like, this is like a scary song. Like, not a whoop.
Yeah, they were like, and the very end, you all burn a cross into a lawn, and they're just like, yeah. That's what kids do.
Yeah, it is what
kids being kids.
Kids are crazy.
Okay. Question 4: have you ever experienced imposter syndrome, and if so, is there a moment that sticks with you?
Every fucking day of my life.
You know who else probably experienced it? No, I'm kidding. Not that. I'm not back to Helen again.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, you fucking can't.
Yeah, or can I?
Literally every day, every fucking day, and I think it gets worse.
Worse.
The older the more into. entertainment I get. I
That is
would
so
say.
interesting because I feel like you are on such a trajectory, a wonderful trajectory, but it feels worse.
That's very kind of you to say, but it's kind of like, I mean, I think it stems from just so many years of doing this and being told no
Mm.
and like being passed over constantly. And like, even when I was like a dumb little improv kid in Chicago, like I couldn't get on those teams. I couldn't get on those Herald teams, those beloved house teams. Like, and I would ask people to like do side projects with me, and so many people would say no, and I would have to like dig to find my people. And I was like, oh, because like no one thinks I'm talented. There's certain people that knew me back then who now live here and see me doing things
Sure.
and getting things that are objectively good and exciting.
Yes.
And they go, man, like you're like really doing some stuff. I'm like, this feels not like a compliment. Like you are so baffled.
Yeah.
You know? So it like, and it was such like a formative years in my comedy life that like I just didn't think that I was like like I didn't start doing stand up until 2018.
Yeah.
When I like the web series I made got into the New York Television Festival.
Oh yeah.
And one of the talent agents there was like, we were having one of our like those fake general meetings. Like it's a general meeting, but it's like they're there for a favor.
Had a bunch of those. Yeah.
I love them. I love them. But she was like, you need to do stand up. And in my head, I was like, why would she ever think that? Like, I can't do improv. I can barely do sketch. Like, I'm not good at this. And like, she was like, you have a unique voice. And I didn't like ever see myself as like someone who could be on stage because of improv and sketch and how bad it went for me. Like I was still doing it, but like
Yeah.
I had to like fight my way to do it. When I got Best of Fest in February at Slow, my car was packed. Like they announced the Best of Fest show the last day. Did all my goodbyes and thank yous to all the festival people. Like my car was like ready. And like they announced my name and I was like, what are you fucking talking about? Like like there's no way that that's accurate. Like it was the theater had sat 2,000 people. And I had never done a theater before. I don't even know if I've like played to 100 people before that. Like in the size that big, you know? And I was freaking out because I was with like people, the rest of that lineup had been had been touring for years, had multiple albums, have been on Netflix, like had done JFL. And then it was like me. Do you know Mace Scaloni?
No.
He is one of my favorite people I met at that festival. Everyone else in the green room was like chatting and like just like hacking it up. And I was like, like going over my set because like it was like a time set and like it was a sold out show. So there was 2,000 people there and I was like shitting my pants and I was pacing and pacing and pacing. And he goes, hey, is it your first theater? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, can I give you a piece of advice? And I was like, God, please. And he goes, forget about what's out there. Forget about like all the logistics, but just like take it in. It's a really cool experience. And just make sure you allow yourself a moment to take it in. And it like calmed me down so perfectly in that moment because it wasn't like you have to like look over there, be this. It was just like you let yourself have a moment to breathe and like sit in like what you've accomplished with this. And like I feel like for all of the rest of that lineup, like, you know, they've had those firsts already. And so it really wasn't a big deal for them. It was just like another festival show. But I really, like, I started doing festivals last year because I was trying to figure out if I hate LA or do I hate comedy. So I was like trying to get myself out of the city to see. Because I was like, if I'm this miserable doing stand-up everywhere, we have to reevaluate a lot of shit. I don't know. I just like I still couldn't believe it. I was like, I think it was like a 12-minute set. I timed it perfectly. The way that the laughs rolled in was so different than an Ono Vino basement. And like, I just was like, I cannot believe I'm doing this. And I genuinely didn't believe I did a good job until I got like until two moments. When I walked off stage and everyone that I had like gotten to know over the last weekend was like, yeah, like they were so excited for me, which was so sweet. And I was like not expecting that. And then a friend like happened to be in the audience and he sent me a video from like the balcony.
Yeah.
And like the laughs were so loud, but you just can't really hear it the same when you're on stage. And I was also like kind of like floating out of my body. But like I was just like I didn't think I belonged there until days after. You know? And so when I'm in my corporate freelance job and like, I'm like, God, I really don't belong here. Like, I really don't fucking belong there. And it's like, I just feel the most myself when I'm on stage. And I have to remember that part. Not about if I am good enough, not about if they like me enough, not about if the industry wants to give me the enough opportunity. It's like, I feel like my most like me. I can say my actual point of view. I can say most of what, minus the Hellen Keller stuff, most of what I want to say on stage, you know, like I can be big instead of being like, hey, you got to take it down a notch. I can be loud. I can be crazy. Like, and people want that there. So I think that's like what takes me back to the, like helps take that imposterness away.
That may be one of the best answers I think we've ever gotten to that question too. You're like killing. Yes. I listen, if I didn't have a fifth question, I would end right there. I do. So I'm going to wrap it, but like what an incredible answer that was. Like just an amazing answer. Sorry, just like top to bottom, that was like so great.
Thank you.
Final question for you, and this is the easiest one of all of them.
That's the
the Law and Order.
No, I was trying to do the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Oh,
yeah, there. That.
Well, now that we've done it, question 5: what is your favorite tea? And if you don't have a favorite tea, what's your favorite comfort?
I'm a chai tea gal.
You know, I could have made you chai.
I know, but it has caffeine.
It does.
I go crazy with my chai tea lattes.
That's weird. You never offered me one, so I wouldn't know.
I have an espresso machine. You should come over for chai tea lattes. I do an espresso pod, double shot.
We have one right there.
And then I get my Tazo chai tea. Do a little dirty chai.
Love.
Add some almond milk. And then here's the kicker. I put it in my Ninja blender. So like the blend is just like frothy and so fucking good. Over ice.
You got to do over ice.
Obviously.
By the way, I wasn't sure what you meant by Ninja blender until you made the sound. And then I was for sure. Then I knew. I go.
I have a hired Ninja man.
Yeah. He just makes the noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just goes.
I have a hired guy that makes the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire sound every time I make an espresso pod.
It's just Phil. What's his name?
Yeah.
Is it Phil?
I'm Phil. I'm Regis Philbin.
Regis Phil. Oh, I just watched Hercules. That's why Phil's in my head.
See it. Oh, I thought I was gonna say is Regis Philbin in Hercules. I don't think so.
No, just Danny DeVito as Phil.
It would just be so great if like he was, you know, he's like, I'm trying to go the distance. You know. It's not a great Philbin, but it's passable.
It passes.
It
passes, especially with the go the distance line. You could do it. You could do no wrong.
You know what? This has been such an incredible episode. Thank you so much for coming on.
I'm so delighted.
You feel good?
I feel great. This is what I needed. I needed this so bad. I don't think I've talked to anyone else this week, so thank you.
Well, I just want you to know from the bottom of my heart, from the very bottom of my heart, FYI, I noticed.
I gotta send this to my friends. They're gonna love it. That'll be in our. Now you're in on it.
I'm in it.
You're in on it, baby.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
That was Katie Novotny. You can find her on Instagram and TikTok at Kath Novotny. This episode was produced by Jude Crowner. It was edited by Martin Alvarez. Our theme song and additional music are by Oliver Hymack. Our cover art was done by Neil Fraser with photography by Matt Mazisco. Social media by Dia Villegas. Please write a review and rate our podcast on Apple Podcasts and wherever else you can. You can send any questions, comments, newly friend game suggestions, or tea suggestions to steepcombos@gmail.com or tweet us at steepconvos. I'm Josh Lanzette, and you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at Josh Lanzette. We'll be back next week, so until then, happy steeping.
At the end, Mary Poppins does leave.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Who's giving the spoonful of sugar then, Katie?
It's in here.
It was in you. The sugar
whole
was in your heart the
time.
whole time. And then one guy just goes, "I have diabetes," and you're like, "Yeah."